are the next steps for UFO disclosure in the halls of Congress? What does the Navy know? And was the alien autopsy video legit? Let's discuss, guys. We've got all this to talk about and more. It's time for another UFO News Roundup. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So, what is next for the Schumer-Rounds Amendment? Will that get included in the National Defense Authorization Act? How will that happen? The Schumer-Rounds Amendment is key to UFO disclosure, and going forward, it's going to be amazing to watch if it actually is a sincere effort devoted to getting to the bottom of all this. And if the Schumer-Rounds Amendment is passed in a robust fashion and Congress is actively trying to pry open the chinks of the UFO control group armor and get access to the UFO crash retrieval and reverse engineering operations, Congress actually potentially getting their hands on some UFOs, that could be the biggest thing ever. Now, I have reservations about the Schumer-Rounds Amendment, about whether it's the establishment trying to steer the narrative or not, but at least there will be a narrative. So let's see what Douglas Johnson says are the next steps for this critical amendment. He says the Senate returns from a 5-week recess on September 5th, and the House of Representatives reconvenes on September 12th. During the fall months, there will be an extended non-public negotiations primarily among the members of the Armed Services and Intelligence Committees of the two houses, crafting a final version of the National Defense Authorization Act. Members of some other committees will also be involved in negotiations with respect to specific components that implicate their respective jurisdictions. For example, because the Senate passed Schumer-Rounds U.A.P. Disclosure Act, would place extensive duties on the National Archives and Records Administration, I expect that leaders of the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee and the House Oversight and Accountability Committee will be involved in discussions of that component. It is to be expected that executive branch components will make their views regarding various provisions known to key lawmakers during the conference committee process. This includes the White House, which sometimes enunciates its positions in a public fashion, but may also choose to communicate with lawmakers in less visible ways. What are those less visible ways? Well, we don't know, but that's how Washington, D.C. works, is in the less visible ways, for good or bad. At the completion of this largely out-of-view process, a House-Senate Conference Committee would approve a final bill, which will then go to the floor of each House for final approval, first to the House, then to the Senate. It is highly likely that both houses would consider the legislation under take-it-or-leave-it procedures. That is, the product of the conference committee would not be open to further amendment in either house. Following approval by the second house, the Senate, the bill would go to President Biden for his signature. The president must also accept or reject the final package as a whole. Unlike some governors, the president has a no-line-item veto authority. It is likely that the negotiation process will play out over a span of months. So there you go. That's what we have to look forward to with the Schumer-Rounds Amendment. That is the process going forward, and we can only cross our fingers and hope that it does get passed in a very rigorous and robust fashion. I want to see Kirsten Gillibrand and Marco Rubio standing atop a UFO with a live press conference. I don't know about you guys. Meanwhile, according to the Black Vault, U.S. Navy confirms they have visuals of near misses with UAP. All remain classified. The case files of the 11 near misses were eventually released and listed as the Range Fowler reports. But one of these cases filed by the Black Vault also went under the photos, videos related to those 11 cases. That mandatory declassification review was denied, as a review by the FOIA office showed that the requested visuals were 100% classified across the board. So there we go. We have UFOs potentially colliding with Navy assets, and they're not going to share Jack. I'm Jack. I would know. But yeah, Sean Kirkpatrick in the UAP report to Congress said there were no collisions with UFOs, which of course is contraindicated by many reports of collisions. And here we have the Navy saying, yep, there have been a whole bunch of near misses, but we're not going to share them with you. But as much as I sometimes am irked by John Greenwald, I support his continuing efforts to FOIA this stuff and get the information from those people who have it. Meanwhile, what about the Santilli alien autopsy? I thought that was fake, right? Well, as it happens, Eric Davis wrote a letter to Bob Bigelow detailing what Kit Green told him, and Kit Green was under the impression it was real based on briefings that he had had about a similar autopsy and a similar being. Now, this is older information, but it's still fascinating. So let's check out what Eric Davis has to say. Eric Davis is talking about what Kit Green's told him. In January 2000, Kit provided his professional evaluation of the Santilli alien autopsy film video. Kit had provided initial information to Hal Puthoff about his official briefing. The alien autopsy film video is real, the alien cadaver is real, and the cadaver seen in the film video is the same as the photos Kit saw at the Pentagon during briefing number 2. Kit Green said that the alien forensic tissues could hypothetically be located at Walter Reed Armed Services Institute for Pathology Medical Museum, which is not open to the public and requires a security clearance to get in. Well, I would guess so, right? Kit only visited there twice in his career. Kit made his visits under escort by the Chief Medical Examiner of the Army, Dr. Charles Stahl. There is very good reason to believe that the alien autopsy tissues are located there because all forensic samples are kept there. The alien is not human. Its brain lacked the gross anatomical structure seen in human brains, and liquefaction of the brain due to decomposition can be seen in the film and video. Its heart was three-chambered and was a single contiguous non-muscular vessel with no aorta nor vena cava, a conjoint liver and gut, one lung, no anus, etc. There was no in-depth molecular or cellular biology investigation performed on the alien body tissues at the time because the need for conducting routine complex analysis of forensic tissue was not thought of then. Kit is not aware of any microscopic study, blood analysis, or biochemistry work done on the alien tissues. Personally, I don't know what to make about the Santilli autopsy. I've heard it debunked so many times, and then I've heard the debunks debunked, so I don't know what to make of it. Maybe it was based on a real autopsy or inspired by a real autopsy. I have no clue, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Well, we know that the Navy hides stuff from us. Of course they do. A lot of the UFO phenomenon is based around the water. And we also know that NASA hides stuff. We don't have a whole lot of information about what they have been hiding, but let's just take a look at this compilation of UFO sightings from NASA. Was that a portal opening up? What is that thing? Yeah, see, these are objects that are changing the direction. That's the point of this particular video is various objects that are changing direction, which are not likely to be ice particles or whatever on the window or the lens. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I like that one. Yeah, that one's definitely not space junk, and it's I don't think that's an ice particle. That does not look like an ice particle to me. Those other ones could be ice particles. Anyway, let me know what you think, guys. Ice particles or UFOs? Meanwhile, Mexico's UFO hearing is nearing, and I'm really excited about that, and I'll definitely be reporting on that when it happens. Will they reveal something that American UFO hearings won't share? Isn't that a fascinating idea? Well, as it happens, Brazil has already had its own UFO hearing. And I'm not going to play it, but they talk about things like the galactic habitable zone, and how we are right within the habitable zone of the galaxy. I didn't know there was a habitable zone of the galaxy, but apparently there is. They also talk about things like how many people believe in ETs. As it happens, only about 30% of people in Brazil believe in UFOs, which is really interesting because Brazil is such a hot spot for UFOs, and that whole region is. I mean, heck, Peru, their neighbor, is undergoing an alien invasion right now. Anyway, it's not a super juicy hearing, but it is really interesting that Brazil is ahead of the U.S. and Mexico on this issue. Two parts of the hearing have been translated into English with subtitles, and I will link to both of those, and you can watch it at your leisure. If there is a part 3 that is translated, I will definitely cover that, especially if there are actual witnesses and information. Oh, and by the way, is there a textbook that the military is given about the various kinds of alien races? Well, here's a compilation of George Knapp and Paul Hellyer talking about 4 kinds of alien races that the control group and the powers that be are familiar with. There is music playing throughout this video, so I'm going to have to mute it, but it's only like 40 seconds long, so let's listen to what these guys have to say about these 4 alien races and what our government or governments know about them. So there you go. George Knapp and Paul Hellyer agree that there are at least 4 kinds of aliens, or non-humans rather, that are visiting Earth, and they have for thousands of years. So let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. The machinations of Congress and getting the Schumer Rounds Amendment passed. Will they get it passed? Is there so much pushback that it won't get passed? If it does get passed, will it be crippled by all this pushback and it won't be passed in a robust fashion? What is the Navy hiding? What is the NASA hiding? Are they hiding the existence of 4 kinds of alien races or more? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you have enjoyed this UFO News Roundup, please give me a big thumbs up. I'd sure appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys there. If you wanted to consider supporting Cosmic Road in a bigger fashion, please consider becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, guys. I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.